So we're talking about competencies and selection criteria. Can I get an indication of someone who absolutely knows what the difference is? Okay, great. Competencies are a set of behaviours. Now what we mean by behaviours is they're skills or abilities that you need to be able to act in a role. So for example, a competency within my role is communication. Communication to be able to present seminars, communicate between candidates and communicate with senior stakeholders. Selection criteria is what someone would ask me how I have demonstrated communication skills in a work environment. So can everyone see the difference? So a competency is what you can do. Selection criteria is an example of how you've done it. I'm getting a few nods. Is everyone following? We do have questions at the end if you want to discuss any more, but they're the key differences. So why does the government use these really difficult, strict processes? Well, we use competencies to measure potential. We use them to make it fair across the board. So if everyone is being measured the same, then it is a fair and equitable process, which is what we are all about in the government. Everybody addressing the same competencies makes it really easy for us to make our decisions. If you just want to come in and take a seat. Also, what's really important is competencies support our interview process. So when we hold a panel interview, competencies are what we use to formulate our questions. We do have a session on behavioural interview and it will be available on the internet if you'd like to look at that at a later date. So here's an example of competencies. So a competency might be teamwork and collaboration, and what we're really looking for is someone to work cooperatively within a group and always contributing to a team's goals. So can you see how the definition matches that competency? Same as impact and influence, one of my competencies. So my manager wants to know that I can go to a meeting and engage with people and influence their decisions. You know, look, it's depending on their level of seniority, depends on how well I do, but that's something that I'm continually developing. So competencies don't always have to be, I've done that exact job for 5 years. It's not about that. It's about looking at how you've done something similar and transferring that to the role that you're applying for. So exactly the same reason of why we use selection criteria is the same as competencies, is we use it as a way to assess in support of your CV. So you get 700 CVs and they all look very similar. It's really, really hard to determine who's the best fit for the role. And so that's why we always encourage people to write cover letters. And I would say that if you've ever applied for a government job and did not get to interview, it'll be those two that let you down.